Hello, my loves. I'm Abigail. Welcome to Abby the Philosopher. Now, this feels right now getting to finally post. I'm going through transitions right now, really amazing, wonderful transitions in my life. Very exciting times for me. And because of that, it makes it really difficult for me to be posting as frequently as I'd love to, with as many topics that I want to talk about. Time is not afforded. God, the circumstances are not affording me that. However, I'm re-strategizing, and I thought it would be great to experiment more with voiceovers. Let me know, you guys, if you're feeling this, if you're enjoying this or no. But yeah, today's video is basically that women just want permission to be women, okay? Women want permission to be girly girls, to be more specific. Women want permission to be the best versions of themselves. And it's sad that we still want permission a lot of the times. Um this week I was shooting on a film, not a film, sorry. I was shooting on a web series. It's a reality TV web series type of show. Anyway, coming onto the show, right? I'm the type of girl, the type of lady that loves to dress up. Everywhere I go, I like to look the part. I'm the type of person that is consistent with taking care of my appearance. I value myself. I love myself. I've always been like that since literally primary school. That's always been me. Okay? And I feel like any moment is an excuse to look good because when I look good, I feel amazing. Okay? As a woman, you want to take care of yourself. When you become a feminine woman um, who wants to be the best version of themselves, who is the best version of themselves, that is something that's very key. Is you take care of your appearance. Okay, so as usual, I went to the show. I had a very cute, very nice dress, very cute. I won't describe the dress too much because I don't want to reveal it. This show's not out yet. Anyway, so I looked nice. I had my heels, I did my makeup, I did my hair, everything is on point. My mani pedi always done, always. Okay, unless I'm taking a break for some reason, or there must be a reason that I don't have my nails done, these certain things. Anyway, so I go to the show, and when I went to the show, I wore a long skirt over my dress because it was a body fitting dress. I wore that over and like a cardigan on the top because honestly I didn't want attention on myself when I went out. I just wanted to feel very normal when I went out, because for me that's like costume. So I go out and like that. So I arrive at where we were shooting on the set, and so I'm the first one there. Another girl pops up. She comes, she arrives, and when she arrived, so she's wearing techies and she's wearing a dress. Very pretty girl. I'm fond of her. She's very pretty. And sorry. So she comes in and she starts to express. She's like, "Oh, Yeah, I didn't put in any effort. Honestly, I just threw this on. And as women, we have a tendency to say that. We make statements like that. I do not like those statements. I've noticed myself cringe. Like, I cringe saying that. When I know that when I say that, when I actually say that, a lot of the times I'm just people pleasing and I'm just trying to relate and connect with that person when I cannot relate, to be honest, because I take care of my appearance. When you do it for so long, it becomes a part of who you are. And it becomes easier to look good all the time or to show up prepared. Like, that's me. I don't even put much effort now. I just know what looks good on me. I grab it. I can already think in my head, okay, I'm going to wear this because I know that this looks good. This is going to fit. It's easy because I've invested the time in the times where people said, sorry, in the times where people said, oh, I'm just going to wear a t shirt and jeans. I put in effort. I put on a beautiful skirt that was very pleasing, like very flattering to my body type. I put on a very nice top, very intentional about the color combination, about the fit on myself, that it fits well together with the right shoes. Like, the more that you do that, the more that you you know what looks good, and it's so much easier and faster, so much more convenient to get ready anytime. So anyway, I do not always relate when girls say that. I'm admitting it here, but in person I might just say, oh yeah, I just threw this on. But it's actually become true that I would just throw something on, but I actually know that looks good. I know it works. I didn't have to prep and try on things. You get what I'm saying? So, yes, I threw it on. I'm telling the truth, but honestly, and it still looks amazing. But I put in effort. It takes investment and time. Um, it takes intentionality to get to that place. Anyway, she says like, "Oh, I just threw this on, and I decided I'll just wear dickies, and I'm not gonna wear heels." And I said, "Okay," because I that's fine. That's her style. I really couldn't care less, honestly. And in that moment, I think another girl came. By the time that she was speaking on this, another girl comes, very pretty girl, very fond of her as well. I'm very fond of these girls. Um, I'm just highlighting something that a lot of girls say that makes me sad. So this other girl, stunning, beautiful girl, but she calls herself not a girly girl. She's not a girly girl, and she's just stunning. Honestly, if I could turn her into a girly girl, oh my gosh, it's done for everyone. Anyway, so she pulls up and she's also talking about how she's not uh, like she's not putting in effort and all these things, and I'm like, okay. So I stay quiet because I cannot relate, and I'm the type of person who, in a conversation, I'm very intentional about whether or not to speak, whether or not I'm very selective about what I share. I'd rather be quiet. I prefer awkwardness than saying things that I'll regret, or saying things that I don't mean, or I don't know. It's just waste of energy, honestly. I'd rather just be quiet. If I don't agree with something, or if people are speaking about things that I don't relate with, that I don't agree, I live my life differently, I just stay quiet. No one asked me for my opinion. I don't need to share it. To be honest, I'd rather share my opinion. Like, I kind of value my opinion so much that I'm like, well, I only want to share this with someone who I think, okay, they're actually going to listen and they'll resonate with that. It's very intentional for me. I don't need to share my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So in that moment, I'm just quiet and I'm just smiling, just like, okay, I'm just listening. And and so there's a point where I'm like, oh yeah, I think I expressed that, oh yeah, I did put in effort. It was a bit last minute, but I did try to put in effort. That's I think I said something along those lines. Okay, cool. A bit later, w- um, a bit later, when we are finally like getting ready to go onto set, like now it's time to dress up and all of that, I go and start dressing up. No, no, no. First off, so there was a situation at this place where the bathrooms were locked, right? On set. The bathrooms were locked, and the producer of the show, they didn't do a good job by not having bathrooms open, right? That was not, but I'm not gonna bash him for that because he's starting out. I'm just proud of him for what he's doing. So anyway, I decided, so in that moment, because I value myself, and it still ties in with what I'm saying, that women want permission. um because I basically, because I value myself, I decided to stick to my standards. This is what I'm about to say. I needed to use the loo, and the production assistant, she was telling me, oh, you're gonna have to use a bottle. I was like, excuse me? Like, to go to the ladies, to go to the loo, use a bottle. And I said, heck no, I'm not a man. And I said, okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to look for a bathroom. I'm going to look for um, the loo, basically. So I stood up and I said, okay, I'm going to the loo. And guess what? The two girls I was with, they start like kind of laughing. They're like, we're going to look for the loo. Are you serious? They thought I was joking. Like, everyone thought I was joking. I said, "Oh, it's fine. I'll just go to the loo." And they're like, "Oh, like what? Are you gonna like are you gonna like excuse yourself to go to like a bush next door, some like nearby?" I said, "Heck no! I'm gonna find a bathroom. I'm gonna find somewhere because the area where we were in was in an area. It was central to town. It was an area where there were a lot of establishments, businesses. So of course I can find it. It was close to malls and things like that, so I could find a loo actually. So I said, okay, I'll be right back, and I was ready to do that. I would have to walk a distance, and I stood up. I'm like, okay, I'm going. And then now the other girls were like actually laughing at me, like, are you serious? Are you going? And it really sounds like I'm so full of myself. Like, oh my word, she's so dramatic. She's like, why can't she just, excuse herself here? Um, we've all been in the village and we've all had to like, do it in the nature, relieve ourselves in the nature. But I was not going to do that. I'm wearing a gorgeous dress right now. I have like this beautiful outfit. My makeup's done beautiful. I'm looking good. The audacity to go and like have myself do things like that. I'm overstepping my own boundaries with myself. No, I did not feel like doing that. Because also before we were shooting, I was also setting myself in a certain energy. That's very important to me. Whenever I go to certain environments, I also tune myself to certain energies. I shift my energy, and that moment, I'm this. I'm who. I get into characters a lot, right? So fine. They're laughing. They think I'm joking, and they're like, "Whoa!" Like maybe I'm being dramatic. I don't care because I'm confident in myself, and I do not compromise on my standards. So I stood up, and they like, "Oh, okay, we'll go with you. I'll go with you." And then the other girl also says, "I'll go with you," and I appreciate that. I'm glad we could go because we got to bond. I love that. So I'm always for girls being girls, you know? So that's the type of person I am. I love a girl being a girl's girl, you know? So we stood up and we started walking and yeah, started walking and we ended up walking toward to a hotel that was nearby. Very like luxury hotel, and then we went there and it was nice and we got to enter that nice setting because the environment that you enter is very important. And I think even for the like before the production, before the shoot, um this reality TV show, before we could shoot it, um it also felt really good. Like I was in a really good energy. It just maintained because the thing is I was wanting to protect my energy. I knew that the type because that's going to project into camera. So I wanted to protect that. Okay. And that is, and for me, how I protect that is what am I doing in that moment? Where am I? What environment am I in? Because I'm very sensitive to environments. They, it's important to me. So anyway, we use the loo. It's nice. We get to go into the luxury um hotel. Sorry, hotel, and it's like a reset, you know, of one's mind. And I think it also reset the ladies. It reset the ladies, yeah. So yeah, it reset their mindset and the energy they were in. Because I remember when, like, on our way to walking to the hotel, because one thing with me, especially if I'm looking that good, I'm also walking a certain way. That's why I love to put in effort into my appearance. It's because I carry myself. I have disciplined and trained myself that, especially when I put on the costume, I'm the character. You get it? So I'm looking gorgeous and I'm walking gorgeous, and that's how I behaved. And I'm leaning into my femininity. My femininity will not relieve herself in a bottle. That is just disrespectful. That is just, that's wild. Anyway, so I'm feeling good, and I noticed the girls with me, they also leaned into their femininity. I saw it. As we were walking, they started walking slow, like these slow paced movements, because I like to walk very like slow paced. I like it like a cat, right? So we were walking. I kind of get this picture of like, you know, Haley Berry as Catwoman when she's walking like slow intentionally. So yeah, we were walking like that to the loo, to that hotel, and it felt good. And yeah, we were even invited on the way. Some people stopped by and were like, "Hey, we're having this thing at the at this hotel. You should join us." And we obviously declined, but there was a shift of the energies. What I'm trying to say, and like, yeah. So when coming back, it was different, and we were vibing better as well, us girls. So we get to the place, right? We get back to the set, and that time, like after some time when we ready to get into when we ready to like go and get ready before we start shooting, we now in the dressing rooms. I then start to touch up my makeup. I take off my skirt, and like now I'm wearing my dress, you know, and I'm looking good. I put on my heels because before I wore just like my really nice flat shoes. They're still very pretty. Um, they're very like they're bedazzled and very like pretty. It's not like, yeah, they were still looking up to standard basically. But then now I put on my heels, and while we were in the room, so this is what happens. Now the girls had been mentioning how they're not gonna wear heels and blah blah blah. It's kind of like that. It's a lot of like that pick me type of narrative. Like that pick me stuff that the girls like to say these days. I used to do that like a long time ago when I was a pick me. Like saying things like, "Oh, I just love sneakers," and "Oh, yeah, heels are not my things." I used to say stupid things like that. And the thing the thing is, you can like both heels and sneakers. I very much love my sneakers. I love my Vans, my New Balances, Converse. I really like them. I rarely wear them. I really, really wear them. I wear those very occasionally, and it's usually like a look if I wear them. And it's like maybe I'm working out. When I work out, that's actually what I wear. But outside of that, I'm I don't want to wear sneakers. Nope. So I used to say pick me things like that, and I'm hearing these girls saying pick me cringy things like, "Oh, heels. Ugh, I won't wear heels," and blah blah blah. Like, I don't know. And I just said, yeah, I'm wearing heels. I think they didn't hear me when I said it. So anyway, when I change and I'm making myself pretty, like that's just how I am everywhere I go. And I was doing this with a friend of mine who was also shooting that moment. She, while we are while we're busy getting ourselves ready, because my friend, she knows me well, and we are quite similar in that we like to dress up and express ourselves. The other girl, one of the girls, the same girl who came first, she says like, "Oh, why are you doing that? Like, why are you dressing up? Why are you making yourself like?" What did she say? She's like, "Why are you like making yourself look nice or putting, I don't know, like why are you dressing up and all of that?" And to me, that's a very like that's that's a bit of a dumb question. It's like, why would you ask me that? Like, that's such a stupid question. Yeah, it makes no sense to me. It's like telling a girl, "Why are you wearing lip gloss?" Like, what are you even talking about? And I said to her, I said, "Because that's who I am. I always do this. Like, everywhere I go, I love to dress up. I love to make myself beautiful." I just told her, this is how I am. And I said, "Ask my friend over here. This is literally me. What do you mean? Like, we can be going to the mall and this is me. This is me." And of course, appropriate to that situation. Because remember, elegance is appropriateness to an environment, to a setting. It's appropriateness. For example, an elegant way to dress is what would be is wearing what is requested to be worn at that event, right? The requested attire. That's elegance. Like, that fits within elegance. If you are invited um to an evening, what would one call it? No, let's say you're invited to a red carpet event. Elegance would be dressing according to what they've requested guests to dress in. That's elegance. And yeah, like, if it's winter time, and if it is winter time and everyone is expected to wear certain type of warm clothes, showing up in like a mini skirt and I don't know, like fishnets. I do like stockings. I think stockings are very nice. I'm talking about like fishnets and a super mini skirt out in the snow. That's not very elegant. So elegance is appropriateness. At least that's how I like to understand it. So yes, everywhere I go, I just like to look nice because that's who I am. And also, like, the fact that you have to ask that on a TV show, why wouldn't you want to show up as the best version of yourself? Why wouldn't you dress up? Like, I don't understand. Like, since when? I'm just like, why not? You know? So anyway, yeah, I just said to her, no, that's literally who I am. I value my appearance and I'm gonna put in effort because I like myself, you know? And she's like, okay, she's quiet. So I make myself, like, I finish just touching myself up. At this point, it was also for fun because we were waiting a while. And for me, it's very therapeutic. When I take care of my appearance, it's very therapeutic for me when I'm doing my makeup. I love it. It feels so good. It's self care. So I'm doing that. And then after some time, I notice the two of the girls are wearing makeup now. They were not wearing makeup first. All of a sudden, they're doing their makeup. They're like dressing up. The other girl, the girl that came second, so she also was saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna wear heels, etc., etc." She she happens to, like, she has heels with her, but for her it was like a should I not, let me just carry them with. She ends up wearing her heels because I'm wearing my heels. Look at that. And in that moment, I'm happy. I say, "Oh, you look beautiful." And she had such beautiful heels. I loved them and I complimented her. I complimented the other girl as well. I love it. I love it so much when a girl just shows up. If she wants to be a girly girl, let her show up as that. If she doesn't want to be, if she wants to be a tomboy, let her show up as that. Can I just want a girl to be honest. Be honest and real with yourself, right? So in that moment, I was like, you see, this is what I always say. Women just want permission to be girly girls. Yes, I remember before I was getting ready, right? That was, I think, after, yes, when we went to the hotel, that luxury hotel. While we were in the bathroom, the girl who arrived second to the set, she says, "Ah, I'm not a girly girl." She kept saying that, and I don't know what it is that made her think I'm not a girly girl, to keep saying that I'm not a girly girl. It was interesting. No one said anything about being a girly girl or whatever, but she kept saying it. And the reason why she said this was she was reading the energy. And I'd like to say that she was reading my energy because from the beginning, I was just a girly girl. I was showing up as the best version of myself. I was showing up true to myself. I was showing up in my femininity because I own it. I love my femininity. I feel so grateful to have been born a female and to get to express myself this way. It's the best thing. It's just the best thing. And this one time, I think I heard in a video, this one woman, I think on TikTok, she was saying that it is a curse when a woman curses herself when she rejects her femininity, right? Like, imagine having a womb, right? Imagine having a menstrual cycle, but yet you reject your menstrual cycle. You hate the fact that you have a cycle. You hate the fact that you have a period, right? You have, yeah, that you go through different stages in your cycle. You have your period, um you have your, I think that's the follicular phase where you bleed. You hate the fact that you have a luteal phase, that is the 2 weeks before your period starts. That's the time where you feel like you feel, oh, so many emotions. You might feel very like emotional, tired, fatigue, sometimes even very depressed and sad, and you very hungry all the time and just hysterical, like it's a very crazy time Oh, I know. My luteal phase can be brutal. And then after that, like your cycle would start, and then you feel much better, like at least emotionally. But when you like all of that, yes, it doesn't feel great. But when you can understand that you get to create life, you get to carry life in your womb for 9 months, it's a miracle that your womb is a portal, literally, into the physical realm, right? It's deep, okay? It's amazing. So, anyway, yes, the whole time, I believe that um, the girl, like the second girl, she could read and feel my feminine energy, or she could feel me embracing my femininity, like who I am. And therefore, she kept saying these things about, oh, I'm not a girly girl. And I can kind of, when I heard her say that, I could feel that she probably wants to, like, she's feeling a wrestling within her. I know this because I've been there before, a wrestling within her. And she may feel like, she's like, oh, that's not me. It's like justifying an insecurity. Like, you know what? I actually want to be more girly. I want to be more feminine, but I've rejected it. Usually it's a wound. I had to heal that wound where I could not accept my femininity, where I would want to wear baggy clothes, wear sneakers. Some years back, I would try and cover my body, like hide my body, and like I'll try and remove anything feminine about me because it came from a wound. I didn't want to be perceived as promiscuous, as like, you know, a lot of words that society puts on women, and because those created wounds, right? That for me sounds like wounded femininity when I heard her speaking. So, something interesting. So, basically, in the beginning, she kept saying that, like, oh, I'm not a girly girl. And she would just say it. And I don't know why she kept saying it. And usually, like, the Bible says that what is in man's heart, like, whatever someone says is what's in their heart. Literally, what you say is what's in your heart. You're revealing yourself, you're revealing your soul. And she kept saying that. And I believe it's because she was having a wrestling. And I'm actually happy that that was happening for her, because I started at some point as well. I started somewhere on my journey. And so, after her saying all of that, right? That's when now, like I said, later, when I've dressed up and all these things and I'm like super glam, have my heels on, you know, after like just us spending time together and me just embodying my femininity, one thing about me, I love to like embody my femininity. I'll be standing there with my lip gloss wand and just like putting on lip gloss because it feels so good. Like, these are little rituals that one can do. I'm not talking about like rituals as in like spiritual demonic things, no. I'm talking about, because a ritual is a practice you do repetitively, you practice in your life. It's that simple, for whatever reason, purpose. So in my case, I have so many like feminine rituals that I do on a daily basis, like all the time. It's part of my nature, my personality. It's in me. I teach myself these things. So that one of them is like my lip gloss. I love to touch up my lip gloss, and I will purposely get me the wand because I enjoy that whole experience of opening my lip gloss bottle. It's a very pretty aesthetic to the eye, very pink, and I will start to apply my lip gloss. For me, it like resets me and reminds me that I'm a female, I want to lean into my femininity. Because if you've not been feminine for so long, you want to teach yourself like feminine mannerisms as well are super fun. Side note, but feminine mannerisms can also help you to feel more feminine. And the thing about being more feminine is you need to feel more feminine, because you then will omit that. That's the energy that will be coming off of you. You cannot fake it. You need to actually feel it. That's where it comes from. The more you feel feminine, the more you become feminine. And the more you be feminine, like you act feminine, the more you'll start to feel it, because our brains require that rewiring. Our brains are rewired by what we do. Our brains are just wired by what we feed it, what we program into it, what we see, what we hear, right? What we are meditating on, what's happening around us, and even like just the energy around us, like whatever energy is around us, that penetrates into our being, and that becomes our reality, you know. So the point here is that women just want permission. I don't know why we want permission. I remember like many years ago, I had to give myself permission to be who I am today. And right now in this video or in this audio that you're listening to or watching, if you won't give yourself permission, I'm giving you permission. I got on here to give you permission, to give yourself permission that you can be that woman. You can be that girl. You can be a girly girl if you want to be. You can be extra if you feel like it, right? You can do all those nice things that you always envision yourself doing, like envision the best version of yourself doing. Okay? I'm giving you permission to make now the time that you do it. A lot of the times we're like, oh, in the future I'm gonna be this, or one day I'll be rich, or one day I'll clear up my acne, or one day I will eat better, one day I'll have the body that I desire, I'll go to the gym and I'll, one day, I'll have that car I've always wanted. But come on, make that now. Make that now. Look, I believe that time is, what's that word for it? Basically, I believe that time, like the present, the past, and the future are now. That's something I believe in. I want to study it further and understand it well, but I believe that outside of the dimension that we are in, right? Outside of the physical dimension, I would almost say I believe that there's not time. When I think of God, He's not bound by time. He's not. We are bound by time in this dimension, the physical realm. And so in that case, like, I like to think of myself as already the future version of myself, you know? Like, if you read in John 1 verse 1, or just John 1, I believe it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and God was the Word, something like that. I may have, please don't paraphrase me. Please don't quote me, is what I mean. I don't remember the exact order. When we look at God was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, I believe. So Jesus was the Word. He is the Word. And He was born, right? on earth, but he also existed in the beginning before God created us, right? The Word was with God, and the Word was God. So if you look there, time, we are bound by time, but really, I don't believe there's time like outside of our dimension. So I like to live my life as if the future is right now, right? We are not normal beings. If you're a Christian, like I'm a Christian, right? I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and that he died for my sins. And if you believe that, or like if you are a child of God, you are also I mean, if you accept that for your life, you are also in the same, you are like on the same like energy level. Like you are able to do miraculous things like Jesus, and even greater things, right? He has empowered us this way. He's given us dominion on this earth. And so with that, we are living in the future already, you know? So it's so deep. It's really so deep. You have to decide. It's a decision away. And once you make a decision, you walk in it. You lead your life accordingly. If you give yourself permission to be that gorgeous, amazing woman, whatever it is that you want to be, maybe you want to be a good woman, like a kind woman. Let's not just talk about like looks and all of these things. Maybe you want to be a patient, forgiving, like woman with a good heart. I don't know, like you want to be that certain standard. If you enter that room and you want to be a confident woman, be that confident feminine woman, okay? Be that. Because let me tell you something. The women in that room, they just want permission. They want permission as well to be as confident as you. They want permission as well to be as feminine as you. Even the men in that room, they also want permission to be in the masculine. And we need each other. Male and female, we need each other. I've said this in another video in the past. My little cousin, he's like 8 years old, I think, or 7 years old. Literally, when we are around each other, like me and him have a very good relationship, almost like sibling friendship type of relationship. And when I am in his presence and he's in my presence, at his young age, he is always confident in his maleness, in his masculinity. He will be very chivalrous. I didn't teach him anything like that. I'm pretty sure his parents have taught him that because they have really good values, very, very good traditional values. However, outside of that, just me deciding that I'm going to show up in my femininity in how I speak to my little cousin. I don't baby him and speak down on him like he's a small child. I speak to him as a person, as a human being, okay? And like to my level. I speak to him like that as my friend. And I respect him as young as he is, because remember, males, they value respect. And females, we value being cherished. The Bible says it like, the best example is in the dynamic of marriage, right? Where the Bible says, husbands, love your wives, and wives, respect your husbands. There's a reason for that, okay? We are wired differently, created that women, we thrive on being cherished, being loved, and men thrive on being respected, okay? We wire differently and we have different needs. And so in the same way, my little cousin, I respect him, and the way that I
interact with him is accordingly, and therefore he cherishes me. He loves to like carry things for me. He's smaller than me, but if he sees me carrying something, he'll come grab it from me and say, Abby, no, 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 I'm gonna carry this for you. Or or he will say, Abby, can is there anything else you need help with? Or he'll see me and randomly say, Abby, can I make you a snack? Are you hungry? And I'm like, really? He just wants to cherish me, you know? And it's such a beautiful thing, okay? It's such a beautiful thing to be able to inspire people and to give them permission. So when you as a woman come into a room, right, and this is like, I'm talking about platonic right now, it, and of course romantic, but I'm talking about platonic right now. You walk into a room, you give the men in that room permission to show up in their masculinity when they are interacting with you, or just you standing in that room. All of a sudden, the energy, the energy shifts, and they just move different. I've seen this thousands of times. I've experienced it myself. Um, just when I'd enter a room, right? Now here's the thing. A lot of the time say you are nailing that. You're in the right posture, the right energy, right? You're in that, and like you're in the right frame of mind. You're like, you walk in, you're feeling confident, you're feeling feminine, elegant, classy, like you're just being you, right? You are being true to how you want to show up, being true to your authentic self, right? You show up into this room, and you show up into this room, and now, if you were to make the mistake that now you start looking around the room, right? Because one thing you need to understand is that when you are different from what is the norm in society, like it is overrated nowadays to find a lot of like women in their masculinity, because we've been programmed to be that way in the content that we're watching. Um, have you noticed a lot of the content today, um, the movies, the social media, etc. It shows a lot of like masculine women, um, a lot of women who, okay, for example, it will show a woman like, for example, she pursues the guy. Um, I don't think, okay, she pursues the guy, and if you look in, if you look in modern day like content, there's a lot of there's a lot of encouragement of a woman being masculine and a man being feminine. Like you'll see movies like that, you'll see content like that. And so when you walk into a room and you oppose the norm, the new norm, people are going to react, okay? They're going to react to that. Sometimes they will get triggered. They're like, whoa, whoa, why is she not acting like the norm? Like, why is she not programmed like us? And they will attack you, most likely. And a lot of the times, they might attack you, but even they desire that. Or even they admire it, but they might feel jealous for the fact, like, oh, like, she has the audacity, she has the guts to show up as that, as like what I was. what I always fantasize to show up as, what I feel I desire. She's showing up as that. She's embodying that. And they can feel triggered because this this thing about femininity and masculinity, it goes so deep into it's deep it, into our wounds. Like it's a very deep wound, is what I'm trying to say. There's a very deep root, and it's ancestral. It goes way back, where your mother didn't feel she had permission. Your grandmother didn't feel she had permission to be in her femininity. So, so yeah, like in that moment, um, when people are making fun of you, when people are like negging you, negging is when people will basically make fun of you to like humble you. They will say things. Um, Narcissists do nagging, nagging a lot. It's Negging. It should be two G's, I believe. So narcissists will, for example, be telling a woman like, "Oh, are you still eating? I thought you're losing weight." Like weird things like that to make her feel like to lose her confidence. Or when men are like, "Oh, you're wearing." I don't like girls who wear makeup because maybe you rejected the guy, and meanwhile he pursued you, he approached you. But then when you reject him, and then he's like, "Yeah, I don't like girls who wear makeup." But why did he pursue you? You know what I'm saying? That's negging. That would be one form of some examples of negging. So people will neg you a lot of the times. If you show up as that, they're intimidated, but they admire it. Okay, they feel threatened by it. But if you did not give yourself permission, and if you are not confident in yourself, because in order to give yourself permission, you need to do the work to become confident, to know who you are. You need to decide that this is the type of person you will become. You need to do inner work, right? You need to do healing, right? If you didn't decide that you will give yourself permission, that means like when they neg you, when they make fun of you, you'd then be like, you'd back down. For example, earlier when the girls were like, oh, when the girl was asking me, oh, why are you dressed like, um, why are you making yourself look pretty and all these things, like that really dumb question. I explained to her, I was firm, and I said, this is who I am. This is what I always do. And if I was insecure, like if I did not do the work, if from home I was not strong and I didn't know who I was, I could have said, oh, I would have made an excuse. And I would have probably been saying things like, oh, yeah, I also didn't put in effort. Like, I would have been trying to fit in and not be authentic and honest with true to myself. So, yeah, so I I gave myself permission when I left my house. In fact, I gave myself permission years ago. In my journaling sessions, I gave myself permission. Literally, I've written down so many times, like, I give myself permission to be feminine. It's time. I realize that I want to be feminine. I realize that I want to be ABCD. I realize that I want to have certain experiences. I realize that I want to invest more in this. I realize that I don't want to be this other thing. So I give myself permission and I begin my journey. I've literally written down the exact words I'm saying right now. And then I'll say, okay, what is my journey going to start like? Henceforth, I'm not going to do this. Henceforth, I'm going to do this rather. And I'm not going to identify with the old version of myself that is not aligning with the best version of myself, with the healthy version of myself. There is a toxic version of ourselves. There is the bad version, like parts of who we are, you know, and then there's the good. And if I say I'm not gonna identify anymore with being an addict, for example, I'm not an addict. I wasn't an addict, but for example, addiction. If I'm going to, because I think some people might be like, no, but good, being bad is good, yin and yang, whatever. I'm not talking about that. Honestly, I get it, like good and bad together, but I don't believe in that. It's an excuse to like like remain in like darkness, in evil. I do not promote or encourage evil. I do not believe in encouraging evil and all these things. Making excuses to be wicked. Personally, no. It's a no for me. So, so yeah. Ultimately, I give you permission. Since you won't give yourself permission, you expect me to give you permission, which is sad. So, ladies, thank you so much for watching in. So, ladies, thank you so much for being here, for watching, for listening in. I'm sending you lots of love. Until next time, bye bye.